Hi, this is Julian for Production Expert with a really useful Pro Tools tip. If you're somebody who doesn't have Pro Tools Ultimate, but you've always kind of been a bit envious of the back and play function, which is available to Pro Tools Ultimate users, but isn't available in other versions of Pro Tools. So first off, I'm going to show you what back and play is. How I use it is I use it when I'm writing automation. And if you're a little bit late with the automation move, you can just hit a keystroke and it'll, without interrupting playback, just go again by knocking transport back by a predetermined amount, and you can try again for that bit that you missed. Very, very efficient way of writing accurate automation. So the way it works is that you specify a predetermined back or forward amount. You do that in the Pro Tools preferences. It's right here, back, forward amount. I've got mine set to 2 seconds. It defaults to 5. And then there isn't a shortcut set up by default for this, which is a little odd, but you can set one up because obviously we have customizable keystrokes. So if I go into the keystrokes window and I pop in here back and play, don't have to go very far. There we go, back and play. I've set this one up. That's Option, Control and left arrow, which did conflict with something, but it's not important. I don't use that function. So now if I hit Control, Option and left arrow, it'll knock transport back by 2 seconds. Each time I press it, it'll start from 2 seconds earlier. Like so. So I can quickly review and go back and have another go, and it's incredibly useful when you're writing automation. So that's back and play. However, if you don't have Pro Tools Ultimate, is there something you can do that does something similar? There is, but it takes a little bit of getting your head around exactly how it works. Here's what it is. You need to use a function called, if I come in here and get rid of that, I'll search by key. The keystroke we'll be using is very similar to the one that I set up for back and play actually, but this is a default one. This is Command, Option and left arrow. And here we can see it's play through edit start, which is not particularly informative right now. So all that does is if I hit Command, Option and left arrow, just plays from where my edit point is. If you notice, my insertion point moved because I've got insertion follows playback switched on. That's really useful when you're using this. So, and it's just the same as pressing play at the moment. However, if I introduce some pre-roll, then that gets more interesting. So in the pre-roll, what I'll do is I'll introduce, let's have 2 seconds again. There we are. Now you'll notice when I did that, pre-roll activated. You don't need to use pre-roll for this, and this is what makes it so interesting. If I just press play now, it'll play by the pre-roll amount. It'll play from 2 seconds before the insertion point. And you can see my pre-roll flag up here. Actually, if you want to set pre-roll more quickly, what you can do is you can press Option and just click. And you can set it to anywhere you want it. So there we are. But yeah, anyway, that's what we've got at the moment. But if I turn pre-roll off, it plays from the blue playback arrow rather than here. However, if I press Command, Option and left arrow, instead of starting from the playback cursor, it will now start from the pre-roll flag, although I don't have pre-roll engaged, which isn't what you'd expect. So at the moment, it's just playing me the pre-roll, which is fine, but I mean, you can do that anyway just by pressing 6, because that's the audition key for pre-roll. But if I then add some post-roll, I'm going to add in tons of it. There we go. And remember, we don't need pre or post-roll engaged, so I'll press Command and K to switch it off. Now what's going to happen is it's going to play from the pre-roll point through the edit point and then carry on because there's post-roll engaged. Well, post-roll isn't engaged, but there is post-roll involved. So now when I just press space, I'll just play from where my playback cursor is. But if I press Command, Option and left arrow, it'll play from before. Now here's the clever bit. Because I've got my playback follows cursor, I've got exactly the same function as I would have had using back and play. As in, I don't want to interrupt playback. I don't have to press stop or anything like that. I don't want to have to click anywhere to go to a particular point. I just want to continue to roll transport, but to knock the transport back by a predetermined amount. In this case, 2 seconds of because I set up in pre-roll. Which is exactly what it does. So now I let it go past there. I want to play that bit again. And you see, it's exactly the same function as back and play, but this will work in Pro Tools Studio or presumably in Pro Tools Artist and Pro Tools Intro as well. But you don't need Ultimate to do it. Hope you found that useful.